Hello, welcome to Meeting in the Moment, our weekly yoga and meditation practice here on Window. Just get started in a position that's comfortable for you. That can be anything, just taking a few moments to settle in on your mat, creating a nice space for yourself. We won't need any props for our practice today, but if you like to have a cushion for meditation, or if you like to have any props on hand, by all means, make yourself comfortable. And from whatever position that you've chosen to start in, just tuning into the breath, closing the eyes, noticing the state in which you've arrived today in our practice together. Noticing the sounds and the sensations of the space around you, feeling the air on your skin, feeling the breath entering and exiting through the nostrils. Noticing the sound of birds or of neighbors or of animals or of roommates. And as you're ready, bringing yourself to come to a standing position, Shavasana, feet about hips width distance apart. Lift your toes, spread the toes wide. Feel the four corners of the feet sinking down into the mat. The inner balls of the feet, the outer balls of the feet, the inner heels, the outer heels, and really spread your toes so you can find all that. And then once you find the connection, you can roll down your toes, starting at the pinky toe, bringing all 5 toes on each foot down to the mat, and feeling the grip of the toes, the rooting down of the feet, bringing a slight bend into the knees. Maybe just bobbing and bouncing a little bit to find the buoyancy in the legs, find the activity of the legs. And then press down through the feet. Feel the legs strengthen. Don't let your knees lock out, but just feel the inner thighs lift, the calves engage, the thighs lifting up off the knees. Roll the shoulders down the back. Open the palms towards the front of the room. Notice your heart lifting towards the sky, but don't let your lower ribs flare out. Make sure that you keep the core engaged. The belly is pulling in and up, navel pulling towards the spine. Crown of the head lifts. Tuck your chin in just gently to really find length through the back of the neck, lifting from the crown. Closing your eyes. Finding the breath. Feeling the breath move all the way up from the heels, through the whole spine, up through the crown as you inhale. And then exhale, send it all the way back down to the ground. Let the eyes open softly, keeping the gaze just out past the tip of the nose. Not focusing on any one thing in particular, but rather just perceiving the space in front of you. Checking in with the feet, the legs, with the shoulders, with every part of the body, just to see if your attention has wandered from this pose, this mountain, this moment, this place. Reconnecting, gathering ourselves around this form. Notice if your balance shifts into one leg or the other leg, maybe just sway from side to side to reaffirm that central stance where you are supported equally by both feet, both legs equally engaged. Bend into the knees, press down into the earth to lift yourself back up, tall like a mountain. Inhale, let the arms rise up, moving through the space, feeling the fingers as they travel through the air. And exhale, let the hands come all the way back down, pushing through the air. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale, the arms lower. Inhale one more time, the arms lift. Hold at the center. Feel your arms plug down into the shoulders. Look up towards the fingertips. And from this perspective, reaffirm your grounding down into the earth. Reaffirm the connection of the core, navel pulling towards the spine. Reaffirm the heart lifting while the lower ribs are tucked down, not flaring out, but controlled opening. And reaffirm the arms plugging down into the sockets, finding the maximum amount of length through the body without sacrificing the integrity of the form. One more inhale. Exhale, bring the hands together and drag the hands down through heart center, folding at the hips, bending into the knees, coming all the way down to hang over the legs in a forward fold. And really let your torso drape heavy here. Feel the top of the body just melting down towards the earth, the head melting down towards the earth. Open your eyes. Bring the gaze out past the tip of your nose, looking between the legs. Shoulders get heavy. Finding the feet pressing down through all four corners. And just feel that muscular engagement. Your legs may not straighten, but you'll feel like your hips are lifting just a little bit more towards the sky. Feel the inner thighs active, spiraling towards each other, towards the back of the room. Maybe taking opposite elbows to just bring some extra weight into the top of the body, dragging the torso down closer towards the earth. As the legs lift the hips away from the earth. Let your hands come down. Let your left fingertips just down right in front of your face. And on an inhale, bend into the left knee, lift the right arm up to the sky, twisting the chest open to the left, reaching through the right fingertips, rolling the shoulder blades down the back. Feel the crown of the head reaching forward. Press down into both feet. Feeling the activity of the legs, feeling that stretch through the long side of your right leg. Lift your gaze up to the fingertips above you if that's okay for your neck. One more inhale here. Exhale, swimming the right hand down to take the place of the left. Inhale, open left arm to the sky, bending into right knee, pressing down into the left foot. Lift your gaze up to the left fingertips. Feel the spine extending out long, the shoulders on the back. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Turn yourself to face the top of the mat if you're not already. Inhale, take a half lift, lifting the chest away from the legs. Hands can come to the shins or just walk out in front of you on the mat. And then exhale, step your right foot back, lower the right knee down to the earth. Press down into all four corners of that front foot. Feel that left hip swiveling back, squaring the hips. You can untuck the back toes or keep them tucked if you want. Feel the inner thighs of both legs pulling together. Use that stable base and inhale to lift the arms up for Anjayasana. Arms frame the ears, hips sink down, inner thighs still pulling together. Feel your tailbone drop, feel your chest open towards the sky. Really big opening through the front of this right hip. Lift your gaze up, out past your fingertips. Last inhale here. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Tuck the back toes if you had untucked them. Lift the back knee up. Plant the hands. Exhale, step back for a downward facing dog, lifting the hips up towards the sky. Rooting down through the hands now, kind of finding the same grounding and rooting that we found in the feet. Press down into the base of the knuckles, into the finger pads. Feel the middle of the palms lifting up just a little bit. Feel the arms engaged, the shoulders on the back, the neck is free. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. And you can bend into the knees one at a time. You can keep both knees bent. Just really focus on the length of the spine here. Finding the breath, finding a soft gaze back between the feet, or maybe lifting the gaze up towards the navel. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the knees down to the earth. Inhale, find a cow pose, arching spine, pulling the chest through the gateway of the arms. Exhale, round for cat, lifting navel towards spine, rounding, spreading through the top of the back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Find your neutral spine on an inhale, tuck the toes, and then exhale, lift back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, bend into the knees, and then on your exhale, walk yourself to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rolling up to stand, lifting the arms up long overhead, lifting the gaze up to meet the thumbs. Exhale, come all the way back down, folding over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, lower left knee down to the earth. Finding the inner thighs, pulling together, squaring the hips, finding the strength of the base. Use an inhale to lift up, Anjayasana. Fingers to the sky, chest lifting towards the sky, gaze lifting towards the sky. Relax the face. Relax the shoulders. Find that deep breath. Exhale, hands come down, framing the foot, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up off the mat, and step back for downward facing dog. Noticing how this third return, our final time in downward facing dog today, feels different. Exhale, lower your knees to the earth. Sit back on the heels. Allowing the spine to grow tall. And again, bringing the gaze just past the tip of the nose. Drop the tailbone down. Notice how that opens space for your heart to lift. Find the length in the back of the neck, lifting the crown up rather than lifting the gaze up. And just shift your hips off to the side and bring your legs out long in front of you. Finding staff pose, flex back through the toes, pulling the toes towards the body, the little toes too, like really emphasize pulling the little toes back towards your body. Feel the legs really engaged here. Press your hands down into the earth on either side of your hips and lift your chest. Roll the shoulders down the back. Your arms may be straight, they may be bent. Just do what you need to do to get that opening through the chest. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale here. Inhale, feel the length of the front of the body, matching the length of the back of the body. And then exhale without losing that length, hinge from the hips, coming forward, reaching forward with the hands, letting the hands rest, and keeping your chest open. So you may not come super deep into the fold. You might be able to grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Keep the shoulders plugged into the back. And bring your gaze down so the back of the neck is long. Finding this maximum length through the spine all the way up from the tailbone to the crown. Every inhale, reaffirm the opening of the chest, the length of the spine, and exhale, maybe you can fold a little deeper. Press down through the heels, roll up to sit tall. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees fall open to either side, hands come to your ankles. And you can judge where you want your
feet to be, how deep you want this hip stretch to be. If you bring your heels in towards the groin, you're gonna get a different stretch than if you keep them a little bit further away in a diamond shape. So it really is just up to you, wherever you decide to be. Grab onto the ankles, press the outer soles of the feet together. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, fold forward, keeping the length through the chest, hinging at the hips. Maybe using the elbows to press the knees down towards the earth just a little bit more, encouraging them without forceful engagement here. Inhale, roll up, sitting tall. Extend your left leg out to the side. Leave your right foot where it is, or maybe pull it in so it comes alongside the left leg. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. Exhale, open to the side. Reaching right fingertips towards the left toes. Turning the chest gently open towards the sky. Feeling the opening through the side of the body, through the right lower back. Inhale, lift the right hand up, coming to sit tall. Just switch your legs so left foot comes in, right leg extends out. Pulling the right toes back in towards your face. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, open to the right. Letting your right hand come down to support the head maybe as the left hand reaches out, finding this deep stretch through the side body. Inhale, lift up to sit tall. And bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Slowly roll yourself down onto your back, trying to use control to come down. Feel the spine supported by the earth. Tuck the shoulder blades in underneath you. Let the hands rest on either side of the hips. Walk your feet in so they're just out of reach of your fingertips and about hip width distance. Use an inhale to press down into the feet, lifting the hips up. And really let the power in this bridge pose come from the feet, so you can start to wiggle your shoulders and underneath you, but really press down through the feet so your butt is not clenched. The action is coming from the power of the legs and from the power of the arms also pushing down into the earth. The back of the head gently pushes down into the earth. Feel the front of the body opening with the breath.
Use inhales to reaffirm the power of the legs, lifting you up off the earth. And use the exhales to release what can be released, the butt, the face, the ego. One more inhale. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time. Let the hips be the last thing to touch the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. And really pull the knees in. Feel them pressing against the body. Feel the breath pressing against the legs. Inhale. Exhale, extend the legs out one at a time, coming to Shavasana. Let your hands fall onto the ground, let the toes fall open. Take a moment to tuck the shoulder blades underneath you, to peel away the flesh of the buttocks to get a firmer contact through the hips. To lift the head and tuck the chin, lengthening the back of the neck. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out, drop down into the earth. Inhale again, finding the deepest, fullest breath, filling up every corner of the body. Hold at the top, sip in a little bit more air. Exhale, sigh it out. Dropping in. Let go of your breath and just be here. And from here, we're moving into our meditation, which you can take from Shavasana. Find a seated position. Sit in a chair. You can do anything you want for your Shavasana or for your meditation, rather. Taking the time to bring yourself into a position where you'll be comfortable for the next 10-ish minutes. Today I'm going to read a short story by Clarice Lispector, a Brazilian writer. It's called The Waters of the World. There it is, the sea, the most unintelligible of non-human existences. And here is the woman standing on the beach, the most unintelligible of living beings. As a human being, she once posed a question about herself, becoming the most unintelligible of living beings. She and the sea. Their mysteries could only meet if one surrendered to the other. The surrender of two unknowable worlds made with the trust by which two understandings would surrender to each other. She looks at the sea, that's what she can do. It is only cut off for her by the line of the horizon, that is, by human incapacity to see the earth's curvature. It is 6 in the morning. There is only a free dog hesitating on the beach, a black dog. Why is a dog so free? Because it is the living mystery that doesn't worry about itself. The woman hesitates because she's about to go in. Her body soothes itself with its own slightness compared to the vastness of the sea, because it's her body's slightness that lets her stay warm, and it's this slightness that makes her a poor and free person with her portion of a dog's freedom on the sands. That body will enter the limitless cold that roars without rage in the silence of 6 o'clock. The woman doesn't know it, but she's fulfilling a courage. With the beach empty at this morning hour, she doesn't have the example of other humans who transform the entry into the sea into a simple, lighthearted game of living. She is alone. The salty sea is not alone because it's salty and vast, and this is an achievement. Right then, she knows herself even less than she knows the sea. Her courage comes from not knowing herself, but going ahead nevertheless. Not knowing yourself is inevitable, and not knowing yourself demands courage. She goes in. The salt water is cold enough to make her legs shiver in a ritual, but an inevitable joy. Joy is an inevitability, has already seized her, though smiling doesn't even occur to her. On the contrary, she is very serious. The smell is of a heady sea air that awakens her most dormant, age-old slumbers. And now she is alert even without thinking, as a hunter is alert without thinking. The woman is now a compact and light and sharp one, and cuts a path through the iciness of that liquid opposes her, yet lets her in, as in love with opposition can be a request. The slow journey fortifies her secret courage, and suddenly she lets herself be covered by the first wave. The salt, iodine, everything liquid blind her for a few instants, screaming all over, surprised, standing up, fertilized. Now the cold becomes frigid. Moving ahead, she splits the sea down the middle. She no longer needs courage, now already ancient in the ritual. She lowers her head into the shine of the sea and then lifts out the hair that emerges, streaming over her salty eyes that are stinging. She plays with her hand in the water leisurely. Her hair in the sun almost immediately stiffens with salt. With cupped hand, she does what she's always done in the sea, and with the pride of people who never explain even to themselves. With cupped hands filled with water, she drinks in great good gulps. And that was what she'd been missing. The sea inside her like the thick liquid of a man. Now she's entirely equal to herself. Her nourished throat constricts from the salt. Her eyes redden from the salt dried by the sun. The gentle waves slap against her and retreat, for she is a compact embankment. She dives again drinks more water, no longer greedy, for she doesn't need more. She is the lover who knows she'll have everything all over again. The sun rises higher and makes her bristle as it dries her. She dives again. She is ever less greedy and less sharp. Now she knows what she wants. She wants to stand still inside the sea. So she does. Against the sides of the ship, the water slaps, retreats, slaps. The woman receives no transmissions. She doesn't need communication. Afterward, she walks in the water back to the beach. She's not walking on the water. She'd never do that since they walked on water millennia ago. But no one can keep her from walking in the water. Sometimes the sea resists her, powerfully dragging her backwards, but then the woman's prow pushes ahead a bit harder and tougher. And now she steps onto the sand. She knows she is glistening with water and salt and sun. Even if she forgets a few minutes from now, she can never lose all this. And she knows in some obscure way that her streaming hair is that of a castaway, because she knows she has created a danger as ancient as the human being.
Bringing a deeper inhale into the body. And exhaling. Inhaling once more. And exhaling, blinking, open the eyes. Thanks for joining.
Hey.